Do you have an unsolvable idle problem on your Mark 3 Supra? Usually it's going to be a high idle, maybe a rough idle. If you have an automatic transmission car, you may notice this like me. It gets way worse when you're actually in drive and stopped. It'd be the worst time. The last thing you're going to probably think about, but what you need to at least check to make sure it's not your problem, is going to be your brake booster. Okay. The in-car test for this usually tell you to go in there and pump up your brakes with the car off, and each time you pump the brake pedal you should feel it get more and more stiff, which mine passes that test. After you've pumped it up, you're supposed to hold the brake pedal down and then start the car, and then you should feel the brake pedal depress a little bit farther down. Mine passes that test as well. My original brake booster is shot, okay, and it's causing me enormous problems with my idle of my car, but yet it passes those in-car tests. Okay, it's just not sufficient test. This brakes all work, everything seems to be fine. I mean, what do I know? I've never driven another Supra. I've never known anybody that owned one. I've never even driven another Toyota. So, as far as I know, brakes seem fine. They stop. Here's your real test you need to do, okay? I have a brand new reman unit. Brake booster just came in today. I made up some fittings to be able to hook up my vacuum pump. Before you do this, plug the end of whatever line you're testing and make sure your vacuum pump, pumps up and holds pressure before you hook it to your booster. Okay, make sure you don't have a leak that's gonna falsify your readings. I pumped this up several minutes ago. This is literally gonna take 200 to 300 pumps of this stupid thing to get you to get up to this high of vacuum. But once I pumped it up, it's going to stay there for as long as I leave the vacuum pump on it. Okay, it's not going to drop. This is what we're looking for. I'm going to show you in a minute. When I hook that up to this one, it's not going to do that. Okay, the most I can probably even pump it up is 15 or 16 inches of mercury, and it's going to slowly drop the whole way. The bigger problem is actually when I have the brake pedal depressed. Okay, I actually took a piece of pipe, stuck it between my brake pedal and the seat, and used the power seats to depress the brake pedal for me. Which, if you do that, it's going to immediately drop this vacuum, but it should stop dropping and you should be able to pump it back up. Well, I cannot. With the brake pedal depressed, I can only pump it up to about 7 inches of mercury. So it's leaking some with the brake pedal not depressed. It's leaking vacuum all the time, which could cause a little bit of a rough idle and also a high idle. But when I actually depress the brake pedal, it's an enormous vacuum leak, and it's such a huge vacuum leak, it's probably throwing the computer beyond its fuel curve, and it's acting like a real misfire. So you think about getting the computer that far out of its fuel curve, and then suddenly you let off on the brakes, all your vacuum comes back, and you press on the gas. Well, the computer's not going to be prepared for you to accelerate. It's going to relearn where it's going back and forth all the time. It's not good for the car. And so check your brake booster. It's not holding steady like this one, or if it's going to do like I'm going to show you here in a second, almost guaranteed, almost has to affect your idle on your car, among other things. So I'll come back in just a second and I'll show you how this looks when I have it hooked up to the original unit. Okay, see you in a second. All right, I got this hooked up to the original booster. I've already pumped this thing like 300 times. I mean, I can barely get to 15 inches of mercury. And it's only going to take a little while. You can see the needle start to drop. Okay. I mean, just losing vacuum, guys. Okay. You see it going down. This is no kind of time lapse or anything either. So what happens is when you push on the brake, oh, the vacuum leak is even worse. I mean, it's severe. So this small of a vacuum leak, just in this position, will make the idle be a little higher than it should be. Once you press on that brake and you push so big of a vacuum leak, you're just going to really throw this thing into its way out of its fuel curve. And so you see it just going down. This is the problem. Most of us are going to try that in-car test and our booster is going to pass. Doesn't mean your boosters are working, right? So check this out. If this is your problem, almost guarantee you this is going to help your car idle. It's going to help it run way better, not losing this kind of vacuum. So appreciate you watching, guys. I'm going to make a separate video just on how to actually remove this booster and reinstall the new one. So that'll be coming up shortly, but simple test for you to do. Thanks for watching.